You mean I can't afford? Well, looks like it's running a bit nicer now. Hopefully you see.
It's just weird because, like, I can play on high settings solo.
It's very weird. I should get more.
But now I'm on all low settings, but that's alright. We'll live.
Thankfully, this game still looks gorgeous even on low. Just not quite as gorgeous.
Just not quite as gorgeous. Yes, it does still look gorgeous. Yeah, there's like some intermittent stuttering on the stream. That's not on my end.
Okay. Well, that kind of implies network issues. Or OBS not getting.
I'm looking at slobs, not the live feed.
Oh, okay. Alright.
So this is like slobs and coding.
Alright, so I'm going to extend this platform out and I'm going to flip it on its head.
Now, I knew my computer was getting older, but I didn't think it was getting quite that old.
That's not how getting older works.
I don't know. Heat damage to parts? Heat wear?
Oh, okay, yes, that may be a thing. I was teaching my friend Julian to stream the other day, and we were like, he was seeing the most horrendous frame drops. He's streaming from an old laptop that I had, and while we're troubleshooting things, so I gave him a bunch of pointers as to how to sort of manage quality versus.
Thank you so much for using your Twitch Prime sub on me, Vizier. Thank you so much.
And CPU and that. And the outcome was that we found out that after playing the game for a few minutes, that City of Heroes would throttle the CPU down to 600 megahertz from 2.5 gigahertz.
That's odd.
That is symptomatic of poor CPU cooling. that is thermal throttling as defined by Intel.
Right.
One, two, three. Okay. Oh no, Feral. It's terrible. I just had a thought. I can fix all of the spaghetti by just reversing everything. I can put iron there. Buckle this off. We'll put copper over there, and that will allow us to build out into the desert. And I've just found another line of iron over there. I think that would work quite well. Okay, I have a plan. So I just need you to finish doing all your work so I can swap you over to iron. All right, excellent.
But then everyone bought the rubbing alcohol. Too true.
Why do I not have foundations on my health bar? That's silly. Oh, so you are about to become iron, so throw down a bunch more smelters here, which I'm about to run out of wires. Fix this immediately, shortly. One, two, three, one, two. Oh, I need one more. Okay. Probably can't use you fast enough. Sucks.
Alright. Automated solid biofuel.
Nice.
I have not gotten into Doom Eternal. It is too expensive for me.
Okay. Splitter here. Oh,
Mood Eternal.
we have an automated indicator.
What's even stranger about that, though, is that I don't remember Doom 2016 being anywhere near as expensive as Doom Eternal.
Mood Eternal.
Yeah, I was just saying that I haven't been able to play Doom Eternal because I haven't had the funds to get it.
Ah, right. Yeah, no. I bought Doom Eternal and then realised that I should probably play through the first Doom. And so I've been trying to find time for that.
Like $110 New Zealand.
Yeah. Yep. I think I paid roughly that for the game. Well, I get that a lot of man hours goes into them, but I just feel like maybe the game might be just that little bit more accessible. If you drop the price a little bit more, you'd probably find a large jump in the number of people that can afford the game.
That's how I see it. I do, Lord Evan, yeah. I just got them all exported last night.
Right, back to what I was doing.
You don't have to worry about mods, even if they're late, they will be going up. It's just part of the process now.
One of you there, and one of you here.
What? Where'd the spider go, and where did the dog come from?
Oh no, I just realized I was supposed to be doing this stream in strongman voice.
No. You were, you promised.
Dear strongman, how do you type with boxing gloves on?
I have no idea, Vasir. I have no idea, I'm so sorry. And unfortunately, being that we're in the middle of a stream, I can't check or anything.
Okay.
Oh hey, I stumbled on some copper.
Cool.
At least I think that's copper, it's not saying.
It's definitely copper.
Yeah.
Alright, so if that merges, we can reroute a few things. One there. I'll put a merger there.
I mean, I would absolutely take that off your hands with infinite gratitude, Visir, because I would definitely stream Doom Eternal.
Yeah. Cool. How did I do that?
With grace and skill.
Debatable. It's just going to be a bottleneck. Burn that bridge when we come to it.
And Samuel was saying that region locking seems to be by game. So, I don't know how that would work. Well, that was just in time. Biomass burners were down to, free fuel.
Oof. You're a hero.
No worries.
What do we need to get Caterium power poles on?
Yeah, I don't imagine you'd be able to gift someone a game and then find out it's region locked. That sounds rather, insane.
Just need 300 Caterium. Okay. We'll get this production up and running, and actually,
I think it would tell you whether it was region locked as you try and gift someone.
It has.
Zipplane, zipplane.
No.
No one's gonna get that joke.
No, I didn't get the joke, unfortunately, but even if I did, it's still wrong, because it's a space elevator, not... Alrighty.
Lord Eben got it.
Alright, here we go. Seal. And away she goes. Looks very sparkly. I'm missing the bottom half of the space elevator still, so I just got all the particle effects and not the actual elevator going up.
How are you missing the entire bottom half of the space elevator?
Like, I can see the, where I put stuff in.
Yeah.
The bit that I'm missing is, like, the actual space elevator up to...
The arms, right?
Yeah. I thought it might have just been a once-off graphical glitch, but no, apparently it's a persistent problem.
Well, that's alright, because the plane up until this game has been missing off the top of my hub, even though there were several updates that said it restored it.
Oh. Alright.
Well, I think it's time to remove more forest from this forest. There's an unacceptably large amount of trees in this area.
Okay, so I don't interrupt our production line too much. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter that much, does it?
You will not stop me, poison plants. Coming for your trees. Ah! Got it. You fool, poison plant.
That'd be right. Ugh.
Alright, well that's going to be producing solid biofuel for practically forever. While that's going on, let me check my Humble account for you this year.
Alrighty, so now I'll just let you burn through all of that ore, and we shall hook up this ore. We've run some power out here. I know I said power.
If I can remember my password, that is. One thing I really like is it takes a bit of effort, but I saw someone actually doing a design for a Satisfactory base where they actually had like a breaker room. A breaker room?
Yeah, so what they do is they sort of have all of their power generation going into one line, and that goes into their base, and then in their base they basically use those wall-mounted power things to split the power off into functions. and then they run individual power lines out, so they'd have like one line out for the all the water extractors, one for any mining equipment, one for things. So if they need to incrementally depower sections of the base, you can do it by functionality rather than by unexpectedly accidentally turning off your power generation because you had your water extractors hooked up to the same line as your production.
And so they just remove the cable whenever they want to break something?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like a smart idea, if not a little bit annoying to set up. Because it does mean running multiple power lines out places potentially.
How the heck do you check a Humble Bundle account name?
I pass. Right, that's what I haven't done yet, is power over here. That's why you guys are not moving. Oh, that's right, because I was checking to see if there was deuterium power lines, but we need to bring deuterium production over here for that. That makes sense.
Am I just meant to give people my email address? That seems insecure.
It's generally how bundle works. Weird though it may seem.
This here has a spare Doom Eternal key, Makod, and they have graciously offered it to me because the friend that they were gonna give it to already pre-ordered Doom Eternal. But I'm trying to figure out. Trying to figure out how to get Visir the information they need to be able to gift it to my Humble Bundle account.
I think that's all coming down the line. Oh, hey, Mike. How you doing, mate?
That's not how Humble Bundle does things.
Okay, that ore's coming in. Wait.
If you've created something as a gift, you can't see the key yourself.
I've had issues with you splitters before. We are going to redo you just in case. Oops, that was in the wrong place. Splitter. I guess you go there. Here comes the iron ore, glacially slow.
I don't imagine for an international release like Doom Eternal, especially with the companies that are involved this year, that they would have done any region locking. Yeah, you'll have to DM me the link though this year.
What are you guys doing? 83. Okay. you could stand to be a touch faster.
And then I'll check it after stream.
A frozen mailbox I've never had to deal with before.
A frozen mailbox?
Yeah, Feral was just saying it's April and my mailbox is frozen shut.
Oh.
I was just thinking that's not a problem I've ever had before.
Right, point me at a problem, Atomic.
Okay, problem number one is I've just destroyed all the copper. all the copper stuff. I'm currently in the process of fixing my mistake for the iron, so now I can build the iron out towards the desert rather than towards the base.
So you want me to deal with the copper?
If you could do the copper, that would be great.
Alright.
Dad, I can see the reflection of you in your screen in my computer, so I can watch you in my computer because I can see the reflection.
Oh, okay. I could just pull up the stream.
I want to play a game as well.
Oh, my kids are whispering because I know that I tend to get a bit upset at them if they're talking really loudly in the background of the stream. So I appreciate the consideration. Going out this way, I think. Okay, so this will get us. Oops. Did I put you on an angle? I totally did. Oh well. Worry about it later.
Quarry about it later.
Ha 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 ha. Love me a good pun.
I am gonna...
You are going over there.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Which is not ideal.
No, on top. No, on top though. No, on top though. Thank you.
Power yet? Yes, we can. Okay. Well then.
Alright.
That makes me
A
happy.
little more spare room there.
Clean up how I'm doing power a little bit.
End of stream is in about 2 hours, yes. I need more concrete. More concrete.
More concrete. Lovely.
More concrete.
Oh, you need more
I
concrete.
need more concrete.
Oh, that's terrible. I need to speed up production of concrete.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no, I want you to be the first to know if it works, obviously, this year.
I'm currently building on a budget. I'm trying not to go over... Wait, what? Oh no.
What'd you do?
Say about why.
What'd you do?
Oh, the conveyor belt was preventing me from placing my foundation, but it was like only just clipping, like it wasn't visually clipping, it just...
The bounding box said no.
The bounding box said no.
Dang bounding boxes, who do they think they are? I'll tell you whether it's clipping or not. Sir?
That's never clipping.
It's never clipping in my world.
Realism is for suckers.
Who needs it? So this copper vein you got up here, how much is that going to support?
With a tier 1 or a tier 2?
Yeah, one. One miner is 60, one smelter is how much?
120? No, 30.
So 2 smelters. 2 smelteroonies.
So that gets rid of my reliance on that power pole.
Not the one to do with diet, no. I did see the
Yeah.
everything though. Infinite 9x9 dimension, oh good lord. Oop.
Chunky.
Is that like Chun-Li, except large and in charge?
No, I was just looking at the pillar bases, actually. I haven't actually used them yet. So is that just smelting that you've got going over here, or are you going to do parts assembly as
I'm
well?
gonna do everything, yeah.
Yep.
See, you can't stop me from doing well-aligned conveyors even when I don't have foundations.
Did you see I redid a bunch of the conveyors to get them more in line?
More.
Well, once they got close enough to the base. Oh yes, Dyer's infinite 9x9 dimension.
Infinitely terrible. Heh.
I look, from a world gen perspective, it's not a hard thing to do. the kind of thing you could throw together relatively quickly for a April Fool's joke.
Yeah, that's the thing, Mervless. I don't tend to get very far myself because I insist on everything being beautiful, and at some point you just kind of have to give up on that, and I'm like, no, I refuse.
Just end up with an inventory full of wine. That's not what we want. Why are you not? Ah, everything is.
What's the button to open the guidebook to see parts and stuff?
It's a H. I don't know. X.
Ah. It's 30 per minute. Oh. How much copper am I going to get out of this?
All right. So now that that's fixed, at least. Now I can see about moving all of these over. So 3 assemblers probably seems like a fair enough thing. So let's aim for a conveyor exiting here. Stick a constructor here.
Just a reminder that it's super rude to advertise somebody's ongoing stream while you're in someone else's stream chat.
Every time I get it wrong.
Because it's a bit like, hey, look over here. Yeah, brain, seriously, go make the reinforced plates. Yeah, I get
Still
you.
wrong.
You
Oh
can
my
talk
gosh.
about the cool game, just, you know, rather than Quetsy's playing something cool, you could say, hey, there's this cool game that's around. And explain the cool game. Oh, X4 Foundations, yeah.
And then
X has been around for a long time. I never really got into it. It's too slow for me. The old ones, anyway. I don't know about X4.
oh no.
Enough room for glitter.
Again. Did that so many times in my life.
Oops, you did it again.
I wasn't. I honestly was not trying to do that.
You played with their heart.
That was bad even by my standards. Banned. That's
Velen might be around later, we're not sure. But because of daylight savings in the situation that we're in, where they have exited daylight savings and we are going to exit daylight savings, it's a bit tricky. But next week we're gonna move Friendly Fire to a Friday night here in New Zealand rather than the Saturday morning, so that we can all kind of be in a better time zone for it. Honestly, we should just hurry up and do away with daylight savings, but that's like a whole governmental process and stuff, so...
Oh, really? I'm just flat out not allowed to place conveyor belts now? Is that...
What?
No, never mind. I was like trying to place a conveyor belt and it took me like 4 tries. Very weird. Oh, where's power on these things over there? Okay.
And to be closer, actually.
Daddy?
Hang on, please. Okay. Out. Out, damn pole. Out, I say.
Well, if Lady Macbeth had a pole in her hand, I'd be very worried. Got involved in a battle, apparently.
Actually, I don't know. Like, I'm a bit uncultured in that area. I somehow managed to make it through high school without doing any Shakespeare at all.
Wait, is all the... Wait? Got a bunch of unpowered miners going on?
Really?
Yeah, out this way.
Ugh.
I went to hook up my copper miner to it and it just terminates.
So, when I was talking about having like individual grids for things, that's the reason why.
Right. Yeah, your wall connector is unpowered.
Oh, right, because I was just redoing a heap of stuff about that. Hang on. There we go.
Yep, everything's fired on.
Yeah, I just ripped up all of the smelters that were going along here. hate it when it says you can't afford something. Wait.
Eh?
That was weird.
What?
Oh, I'm guessing it took your computer a second to realize that I didn't have the concrete in my inventory anymore. It was saying that I had enough concrete for it, but then sort of showing red as if I couldn't afford it. And then I was like, that's odd, I can afford it. And then when I looked away and went to place it again, I realized that there wasn't enough concrete in my inventory.
Right. But yes, Makod, that's why I'm getting a stream deck, is because then I can not flail around for my mic button when I'm about to sneeze.
That's a thing.
Boy, is it ever.
I really need to. Most of my streams that I've been doing since I reformatted have all been VR streams, so I haven't actually needed the stream deck. Because trying to fumble for a stream deck in VR is not a pleasant.
No, I imagine not. Kind of defeats the whole purpose, in fact.
I'm really proud of the solution that I ended up coming up with. I found a program that can project a Windows program into VR. And so I wrote a little remote control that I can stick to the backside of my VR control. So I just have to twist my wrist around and I get all my VR controls for OBS.
Oh, neat.
It has worked really well.
I actually think I've seen you use that.
Probably. It's the same one that I used to put the chat up in the top view so that I can see it.
Wait, what? I thought you didn't have copper running. Yet I see 3 constructors down here. Oh, I see. They're just running off supply.
Are they still going?
Certainly are. Cleaning them up now.
So slow.
Actually, they're just dumping stock. They're not producing new.
Yeah, I guess that's acceptable.
Sarah asks what kind of headset you have.
I am using a what is it? It's a Razer something or other. No, I can't remember.
I think they mean VR headset.
Oh, sorry, it's a HTC Vive. The original one.
Now, if there was ever a market that really did do the whole competition thing, the VR headset market seems to be really, like, hot. Because you'll find people who will swear by the Sony one, or the Vive, or the Oculus.
Yeah, it is an interesting sort of space. Like, I'm kind of in that space where, like, I really want to try out a whole bunch of other headsets. I got the Vive just because it was the most accessible to me at the time.
Hmm.
But I am really curious to know whether or not a Rift would have been a better purchase.
Right. My personal preference would probably be the Sony one.
Why's that?
It just seems to, like, apparently the ergonomics are a lot nicer than the other headsets. And for me, like, comfort would be very important because I not only do I have a big bushy afro, I'm one of the people who gets sick very, very easy.
Yep.
And I would need a lot of training in order to not be sick very, very easy.
I feel so fortunate in that regard. Like, I have, like, don't get me wrong, like, I stumbled like anything when I first tried playing Skyrim in VR. But the missus just gets absolutely bleh.
Yeah. If I play for 5 minutes, I'll want to projectile vomit.
There is only one game that I've ever played that I just feel so completely at home with, and that is Star Shelter.
Can't say I've ever heard of it.
No, it's basically, I don't want to say Minecraft in space. It's kind of a bit more vintage. Yes. Oops, you're the wrong one. You go. I had you right the first time. But yeah, so basically you were in a spaceship. It's been destroyed. Not a spaceship, a space station. But the space station's been destroyed. So you need basically rebuild the space station using all the debris in order to survive. And in that game, it all I've always just felt like it's the world moving. Sorry. It always feels like I am moving in the world as opposed to, like, when you're playing Skyrim and all that, it can kind of feel like it's the world that's moving and you're not.
Right.
But because, like, the game just does such a great job of just giving that like zero gravity feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you don't feel like you should be moving your legs. Like, you've got little air vents, like you spend your oxygen to move around. And so it just always feels like the movement comes entirely from your hands rather than from your legs.
It's really interesting in kind of like an odd way.
It works really well. Yeah, so I'd highly recommend, like, if you want a VR game that I've felt really comfortable with, Star Shelter has been one of my favorites for that.
Well, my brain is very susceptible to illusions. Because I won't get sick if I feel like I'm in a cockpit. So if in the peripheral of my vision of the actual thing that I'm looking at in the headset has like a cockpit around me, my brain will automatically go, oh, I'm in a car, I don't need to be sick.
Yep.
It's very strange. And I wonder if you could fudge that with like a, a space helmet. Yeah, Makod's right. Just overlay a cockpit onto all games.
You know what's really funny is the software that I use for my for displaying my chat could probably do that.
That's awesome.
I'm really curious now. Oh no. I'm hard pressed up against the dune. I haven't got a way to slip a conveyor belt under there.
I've just got you another 30 megawatts.
Beautiful. Alright, so why are you not producing anything? No power. How can you not have any... Oh. That just makes me wonder how you would go with No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's not actually a bad idea, Marcod. Marcod's saying instead of training hard, train smart, and like start with a cockpit on everything, like actually, but then slowly get rid of it.
Hmm. Or just start with flight sims and flight sims that have walking maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll give the cockpit thing an idea, because it might actually be something that, like, if I can get it working, maybe I can suggest something for other people to try and find out if people with VR headsets actually have success with it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the perfect test partner.
Well, true. Well, getting her to play other games is the challenge.
Right.
Especially since she kind of has a bit of an aversion to VR.
By virtue of the fact that it makes her sick.
Yeah. She's absolutely fine with Beat Saber. Other than the fact that, like, every time a wall comes at her, she yelps and cringes. You see her just go, ah! And then she cowers. Having a wall come at you at high speed is apparently not something she enjoys.
No, I imagine not. I'm not very familiar with VR, but I know that for people who just like haven't really experienced it, it's a bit like the infamous train movie theater thing, silver screen, where people first went to movies and there was a train coming at the screen and people dove out of the way in the theater.
Yeah. I can see how that would be a thing. That never occurred to me, actually.
Like, oh fuck, here comes actual train.
Yeah. Okay, so that fixes the production for those two, and I've got a design that I go vertical on. Can we get glass? That was super useful.
Glass? Did you say glass?
We have one, two. Yes, I did. Oof, we're nowhere near getting that. Yikes. We need 9 fix-it tickets for glass foundation. No, wait, hang on.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
No, we need 3 tickets for glass foundations. Do we have any? Do you mind if I throw those 12 heavy modular frames in the thingamajig?
I have no issue with that whatsoever.
Which these things are worth. Yeah, okay, those are worth a bit.
Yeah, it is a bit one of those accountability things, isn't it, Feral? Like, for us, though, like, it's really hard to imagine people falling for that, because we're used to, like, 120 FPS and pure HD. And even we're not convinced by that, but who knows? Like, this is the first, literally first moving pictures people had experienced back then.
I guess you're just going to go down by like 2.
Well, apart from when people had interacted with those cylindrical things. Those were like GIFs. Medieval GIFs.
6. That is not feasible.
How's the framiness been, chat? Is it just me, or does it stutter every so often on the stream? Yeah.
I would like a lot better haptics. I'll get my hands on one of the valve indexes. Like, they look like they could be a really good headset, and I really want the individual finger tracking, because I feel like Half-Life Alyx would just be amazing with the individual fingers.
So how is Half-Life Alyx?
To be honest, I can't tell you yet, because I've played a couple of minutes, and it took a little bit to get used to, because they've gone a different approach from, say, Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Movement's a bit different. But it looks really solid from what I've seen so far. Here we go. Excellent. I have 3 fix-it things. All right, Rorak, see what you can do with this.
This copper is going on a hell of a journey.
Is it? All right, check your foundations.
We got glass. We got frame. Excellent.
Notice how the glass one does not take any quartz.
Yes. Yes.
I want all of my foundations to, like, not just be made entirely out of concrete, even though they're clearly made out of metal. But when I was building my base, what I did was I designed a floor on normal foundations, and then I did my second layer on glass, and that made it so I could just look down and sort of see how I'd laid it out underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And that just made my life so much easier. Alright, cool. So now I have to figure out where... We need like a storage shed where we can just sort of put off carts. No, that's not the phrase I'm after. Maybe I'll just put it up here on the
Off TTFT cuts?
Dad, do you want
Focus.
to play? Dad, do you want to play it? It's tiny.
It is tiny.
It's usually
My daughter just got introduced to 4K screens.
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft is so tiny. But yes, it doesn't support scaling. Alright.
Ooh, lots of sneezing.
All the sneezes. God, I can't believe that worked.
Excuse me? Why did turning off my smelters shut down the entire base? Oh, it didn't. Just made the base shut down sound.
Okay. It's a bit bizarre, but okay. I want to move all of you. Oh, actually, you know what? No. No, we're not doing it that way. Quite the opposite effect. How do I want to run all of this? Wait, you can get treadmills for how much? So, the biggest problem with the VR treadmills I find is the space that is required to have or use them. Like, the ones that I've seen look like an absolute pain in the butt to move around. Like, they're effectively permanent fixtures, from what I've seen. And so you need a dedicated space put aside for your VR, which I do not have. Well, actually, yeah, that's a good point. I never actually consider that. Generally, treadmills probably aren't really movable. Alright, so we're going to need walls like this, and then I guess I could probably just there's a thought. Oh no. Oh, we don't have wall attachments, do we?
The nether.
What do you mean we don't have wall attachments?
Daddy,
Oh, no, we do.
I got Velen to buy all the wall attachments.
Perfect, nice. Thank you very much for your foresight.
It's alright.
So just need a little bit of planning then.
Terraforming the nether is too much.
Two. It probably needs to come out one more. Oh, there we go. Conveyor wall mount. Perfect. 1, 2. Okay. So maybe you need to come out 4 instead. Alright, 4 from the wall. That works. Okay, excellent. So then we need a conveyor lift going up like, say, this. There we go. That looks not too bad.
And that, folks, is why I invested in an elliptical. It's not for VR, but because there's no way I'm, as somebody who rents, that I'm having a treadmill in my house. That would just be silly.
Or you could just not treadmill.
Well, sometimes it's raining.
Oh, look, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Shouldn't really be trying to shit on other people's fitness. Just because I'm an unfit person.
Power would help. Feel like? No? Stream, you know? Pulling some power might help. Don't know. I'll get back to you on it.
Excellent, yes. I am somewhat happy with this, except concrete.
Okay, well, we have 2 constructors dedicated to copper wire and 2 constructors dedicated to copper sheet.
Very, very nice.
And it's all tidy and shit.
Um,
I saw you, game.
just
I
when I
saw
thought
you.
like I'd space everything out really nice, and suddenly I'm like trying to do something nice, and everything's suddenly too cramped to move stuff around. It really irritates me.
Yeah, it looks pretty good from here. It doesn't look cramped.
No, so that's all good, but then if you come over to where I am, so
Where are you?
I am.
Oh, you're there. Okay.
I'm over by the concrete.
Oh, I see. Okay. The June.
No, it's not so much the dune as much as Oops, I got that backwards. That's unfortunate. I could fix that. It's a paint. That's a bit of work. Oh well. But yeah, so the concrete constructors are in the way. So for me, getting the conveyors to go around the edge of the building.
Okay.
So I think I'm just going to dismantle this one that we're standing on.
Ah.
And I better just make sure that I do actually have this around the wrong way. Yep, totally do. I'm just going to swap those around.
I wish we could terraform.
One thing that I wonder about this game is whether or not having like many sections of a conveyor belt significantly impacts on the performance of things.
I have wondered that myself, yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion that it does. In which case, kind of messy bases with less conveyor segments is probably better performing overall.
It depends on how clean you're being, though.
Oh, for sure, but like you know how like I like my conveyors to be at 90 degrees when I'm merging and splitting.
Mm-hmm.
But that probably doesn't lend itself well.
Yeah, that would only ever be 2 at 90 degrees. Or it should only ever be 2 sections.
Yeah. But when you're doing it like 90, 100 times over.
I kind of get what you mean, but
It's a cumulative effect is what I'm getting at.
yeah.
Noli, I'm terraforming the nether.
From the difference of like 1 section versus 2. That's twice as many at least if you're doing 90 degrees all the time.
It's already
Yeah.
terraformed.
Which I generally try to.
Have a look at this, though. And have a look at that. This? Look at this. Oh!
One thing that the devs really deserve a lot of kudos for, though, is how in the last number of iterations,
It's
they've
like you
really
tell-
made it a lot easier to place things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they deserve a lot of respect for that because is a very difficult challenge to do what they've done.
Oh yeah, you can do like line of sight placement, but that's not necessarily intuitive. So you have to do all these little minor tweaks and stuff to the way that it will detect where somebody wants to put something. And that has to be intuitive for a human rather than intuitive for a machine.
That's exactly it.
There we go. My very first.
So you make some tweaks and then you give it to QA and you say, how does this feel? QA says, well, it feels okay, I guess, but it could do this more. And you're like, okay, well, now I've got to tweak it by this amount.
Yep. Those actually exist here in Australia, Makod. There is a place that Twitch Adelaide had a meetup at a VR arcade.
I will be real with you right now. Somehow, like, I do not trust the hygiene of VR sets on different people's faces all the time, though. Like, I get it.
No.
You can alcohol swab it and everything like that, but I don't know whether the staff would keep up on that.
Nah, I doubt it. But having said that, though, the way that the Vive is designed, I know it probably isn't that difficult to have like a disposable faceplate things.
Right, the sponges that sit on your face.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's like
Right.
you could have a probably have a disposable version of that. All right, it's not perfect, but it'll do.
Because I'll tell you what, for however many hours of rental that you got out of a VR in a VR-cade, you wouldn't want to walk away with pink eye.
No. Yes.
Yeah, but not all gyms do that either, and that's, you know, some gym equipment can be seriously gross. Like, I'm never gonna use weights for that reason. Or at least not gym's weights, anyway. Wait. Good joke. Quality joke, my god. 10 out of 10.
That could be a disastrous way to learn something, but whatever.
My cat son says hello, everyone.
I just found out that if you
He's
hold
blocking
down
the microphone.
Control and drag stuff to the bin,
How does my
delete,
voice
like,
sound across
everything
cat
at that time.
ass? Cat ass filter has been applied.
Oh, hey, Taryn. How you doing, mate?
Mindlessly at that. My cat son jumped up on my keyboard, up on my desk and in front of my microphone, and his butt was placed between my face and the microphone. So that's the cat butt filter.
Oh, no. Oh, that's... Today I found out that you can place a conveyor that you can't dismantle. Oh, you mean I've got to take out the whole container? Oh, that makes me sad.
He was rubbing his head against the microphone. He wanted to say hello personally. Hey, buddy. He is a very good boy. I'm petting him right now because he is like, Mum, I need the pets. I need the pets immediately. I have jumped on your desk so that I may have pets. This is very important. Oh, sorry, that was me bumping at that time.
Excellent.
Is the stream still
Yes,
going?
stream is still going for another hour, buddy.
Because I wanted to show you me transforming the nether. Terraforming the nether.
You're going to terraform the nether.
Yeah, which have already grown 2 birch trees and 1 oak tree.
Sounds like a big job, man.
Yep.
Like, you're going to do like
Okay.
the whole nether?
Just
He has relaxed a little bit. I think I can claim my computer again.
So I have a surprise for you.
what?
Just the scale of the nether.
The infinite nature of it?
Almost infinite nature
Almost
of it.
infinite.
There is an end. But...
Hey, I learned the other day that it stops breaking down now. They, like, fixed the accuracy at huge distances.
Really?
Yeah. There is no more Farlands.
I wonder how they fixed that.
Yeah, me too.
If I
You know what? I really loved how Vintage Story deals with coordinate systems. So I noticed that when you reset your spawn, it actually resets your world coordinates as well.
Huh. Okay.
So like if you want to teleport to spawn, like it's always like 0, 0, or sorry, like 0, 110, 0 or something.
Alright, Atomic, I need another job. Copper's done.
Copper's done. Well, next is we need to do rotors and we need to do reinforced iron plates.
Mm-hmm.
So one of us can take one.
I take it you've got all the parts for those set up, though.
Yes, but I've just realised I haven't done a great job of making it so that you can split off of them. Or can you?
Surely you just throw a... yeah, like that.
Okay, you can. I thought it was too close to the wall.
Nah, they were good like that. They made the, what is it, the conveyor wall thingies? The same distance that you would need for a splitter and a merger.
Holy moly, that's some forward planning. That's great. Alright, cool.
Do you have a mouse charging cable?
You need a charging cable?
Yep.
Yeah, you can use the Xbox controller one.
Actually, you handle reinforced plates because you'd like to do the whole local screws thing.
Ah, right, yes. Yep, that works. I will absolutely take care of that. So, I have a nice area up there that I can do it.
And that's exactly why we like Vintage Story around here, because it already has cubic chunks.
Needs a big foot thing.
It has cubic chunks and it has very, very, very large worlds. Unnecessarily large, in fact, to the point where they have reduced the size that you can pick a world to be because it was so large that they were having world generation errors.
The vintage story.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you like your world to be 4 billion blocks, sir? Is that enough?
No, never.
And that's
Why
just
would you
that's
even think
just
that?
the thing, though, right? Like, this is the problem with humans and our idea of numbers and scale, is because we're like, oh, we see the option for a world that can be 4 billion, so we'll take that rather than the 1 billion one, even though we're unlikely to ever explore the extent of a 1 billion block world.
Yes.
Heck, we're barely probably gonna reach the 100,000s, let alone 10 times that. Sorry,
It is.
100 times that.
Yep. That is the thing. Now, can I know that you can point a splitter at a thing.
Big numbers do make us happy.
Valid placement. That's a little bit sad. Okay.
How many saturated rotor factories do you think we need? 2?
Well, I mean, that's kind of why I build my bases to be vertically scalable. Is just because I'm never actually too sure on what I need.
$10,000 times. Sorry, yes. My bad. Case in point. I was under guessing the math rather than doing the math.
So I need a splitter.
And now, this conversation could very easily go into why billionaires don't need to be billionaires.
I need one.
But we won't.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't hand make rotors?
You can. Sure.
Looking at a craft bench. The modular frame. Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. It's like, that wouldn't make sense, because then how do you make a assembly?
Just gotta find one out in the wild first.
Right. Here's a whole ass assembly inside of one of these crash spaceships. No response, Taryn.
Oh, game, you're terrible. Why did you even let me place that then? Like, you can put down a conveyor lift and point it in a direction that it's impossible to get a conveyor off of.
Right.
Now, I just realized I probably actually want some splitters here as well, which seems a bit... weird, but we'll run with it.
Oh, damn it. Rotors are local screws as well.
Oh no.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to learn to do the thing that you do.
Well, I mean,
Terribly.
we could make screw production. It'd just be terribly slow on
Yeah,
tier
no,
1
you're
builds
right.
while we...
You're right, you're right.
I'm actually just messing around with how I normally do it in order to try and make it that little bit better.
I'm terraforming the entire nether.
Alrighty, buddy. I'll see you when you're 90.
Ah, so that's how you do your delivery with the conveyors. Or assemblers. Oh no, it's constructor.
Well, this one's for the screws.
Ah.
Wait. Yes. Yeah, that one's for the screws. Why are you... Oh, because I had... No, wait, what?
You wondering about the
Oh.
foundations? Because I did that.
No. I was wondering about why I wasn't able to place the constructor closer to the splitter here when I had it before, but I had this conveyor lift here directly attached to the wall before. But the splitter is adding more space than the wall does, so that's fine.
So I've just put these two assemblers down here because maybe it is actually better that we combine forces in this particular endeavor.
Okay.
Because then we won't need two separate screw productions for rotors and reinforced plates.
Gotcha. Can I borrow one of these, please?
Yes. I will go and get more stuff.
So, what? So you're going to go there. But that's not going to work because of that. Okay, so we are going to need more space. Yeah, I have to admit, like, building in this game is generally a lot of trial and error for me.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I feel that. How I usually avoid a lot of that is I'm using the foundation pillars a lot to my advantage, so I start things a lot higher up off the ground, so there's more room for error.
Yep. So then I just need a slug to overclock that appropriately, but probably do that later. So. So that's screws, that's iron plates, and now you just need power. You need 40 screws per minute, you need 60 screws per minute. That's fine. We can make that work. Now, I did not need you to be lift.
giant space skeleton.
Can't forward because you're over there. Alright, good.
I do not, unfortunately.
Robespierre?
Robespierre, I think is how you do it.
One, two.
As Feral had to remind me a couple of streams ago, French Revolution, dude.
I don't know that I've ever heard of that particular French Revolution, dude. So that gets me there, and then the constructor would then go here.
2 more assemblers for you.
Awesome. So I'll use those assemblers for the rotors.
Sweet.
Right, so now I just need
Oh, that's an interesting design, I see. Okay.
it's a little bit asymmetric, but
Eat the rich and all that. Which, for those wondering, eat the rich does not mean literally eat the rich. It means use their resources.
okay, so walls, 1, 2.
Yep, not only did he offer more jobs in his warehouse, he also asked people to donate to his workers, which there is absolutely no reason to do so when he has more than enough personal assets that he could have just paid for it and not even felt a dent in his bank account. Generally speaking, I feel like people who are billionaires are
Sacre bleu.
have
a wire going through a wall.
a mental health disorder related to hoarding. Where they start to get extremely anxious if a number is below a certain point in their bank account. And that's why they sit on it and hoard it and do nothing with it. Now, personally, I'd choose to call that dragon disorder.
So, in theory, that should be reinforced iron plates.
Oh, for sure. Trump's always gonna claim things as his own idea, though. Like,
Excellent. Now, from memory, rotors are pretty much just the same thing, but
rods and screws, yeah.
instead of iron plates, it's just rods, isn't it?
Yep. But that does mean, like, twice as many rods in general.
Yep. Oh, here we go. We're talking about ventilators and that, are we?
We have, yes. I accidentally pointed out that after the whole world generation conversation about people choosing 1 billion or 4 billion over 1 billion blocks, that's also the case when it comes to money. The rest was history.
Yep. So we're going to need a bit of space
Why
for
my Minecraft just turn
that
off.
one. Oh, they're over here.
So these two assemblers are saturated, are they?
So I'm not expecting the
Seems
screws
like
to
it.
be up. The screws need an overclock.
Ah, okay.
So they're only producing 40. They need to be 60.
I'll go handle that then.
I wasn't going to overclock them until we had coal power, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, fair enough, actually. That is a lot of power.
Which, to be honest, like, we're probably not actually that far off.
Not at all. Especially once we get the assemblers up and running, producing the materials we need for that exact power goal.
Yep. So let's make that happen. I need some more concrete for foundations. So I reckon what I'm going to do is just split off the iron rods twice. And this might be a good opportunity to double the iron rod production afterwards.
Our power is very wibbly wobbly. It's like fluctuating between 100 and 140.
To be honest, that's how I'm used to seeing it.
That's the one, Viper. That's the one.
Your maths makes me ache, Viper.
A similar one I heard, which is, looking at your math, this is now out of date, was, you could be Jeff Bezos since the dawn of man, spending $30,000 a day and only have just spent your savings up to this point. That's not including profit being made throughout that time.
How is there even that much money in the world? Oh, well. Both using two different foundations.
Are we?
Yeah, you've been using the 2 meter foundations. I've been using the 4 meter
Okay.
foundations.
Whoopsie doodle.
I generally use 1 meter foundations in between floors and 4 meters for the bases, just because they just look more solid.
Right.
So it's just a purely aesthetic thing for me. But
I like the 2 meter ones on top of on top of the pillars.
ooh, there's an idea. Let's do that. Let me try this. So if I grab a 2 meter one, and then I stick a pillar top directly underneath that.
That's been embedded. You'll have to replace that.
Has it? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be careful.
Ah, there we go.
They can be tricksy. Yeah, that looks pretty good, actually.
Hey, Nolly, by the way, you can play with me. Nolly, you can play with me if you want. Nolly,
like
you
it.
can play with me. I know!
I'll do the same thing over here.
I think that's when you ask your father, why are you not using the money you've earned?
Can you please come in? It's kind of boring.
Yes.
Yes, you just have.
And then I'm going to do a 2 meter foundation bridging those two.
What?
If I destroy that one, am I going to regret it?
I do not like.
We should all be striving in this economy. We should all be striving to be StarCraft 2 players.
You need more Vespine gas? What?
Close enough. We should all be spending the money that we earn. Except for rainy day, but you know, that's a sensible number and not infinite.
More like a Jim Raynor day.
Ah! The reference. That would just be going to the bar, though.
To be fair, that guy's seen some shit.
Yeah, I mean, his girlfriend turned into a weird alien lady. And then became evil. And then wanted to consume him. It's like, it's a pretty fucked relationship if you think about it.
It really is. Like, she should really get counseling about that.
Yeah, I agree. That's the one, Samuel.
And just so you know, the splitters that I've got on the outside are there to raise up a floor.
Letters you have on the outside to raise up a floor. Oh, okay, yep. I see. Forward planning, you might say.
Ah!
Ah?
I always get my splitters positioned wrong.
Oops, you did it again.
And
you played with their heart?
And again. And again.
Something, comrade Brittany.
Something. I actually really hate how,
My God.
how splitters look when they're just floating in the air. Like, I feel like they need to be on foundations. But whatever.
Save it up only to blow it on a carrier rush.
Foundations might not be a bad idea after all, because this is going to look wonky as heck. Oh well. Realistically speaking, I probably should have put the rods back there and the plates on this side.
A video to what,
It's
Marco?
going to get a bit cramped.
Oh yeah, probably not.
Out there.
As much as I'm open to open discussion and stuff, I don't want people to come to the Discord and be immediately depressed.
Right, so where them tier 4 belts at?
Right? I don't mean to make it seem like the rest of the world thinks America is stupid, Feral. But the people who seem to organize your education system, your security, and basically all of that stuff seem awfully paranoid all the time.
No, it just looks like a structural thingamajig.
Meanwhile, you have to actually get a key from your science teacher in order to get into the chemical cupboard in our schools.
Oh, I just realised.
And the science teacher keeps that key on a lanyard around their neck.
Probably, maybe.
And the gates to our schools are open.
Should have just put the splitter there.
That being said, mostly students breaking into the chemical cupboard would just go for the magnesium, to be honest, and then burn all of that, but that's expensive, so... I mean, some schools have gates. It's usually just a, what do you call it, a symbol? Because the walls are like chest height, usually, and the gates just exist to stop vehicles at night. Yeah, around the school boundary. Yeah, but so many of your schools are suburban though, aren't they?
Maybe there.
Not suburban, metropolitan.
That's true.
And schools in a metropolitan area have a density issue,
Ugh.
which prevents things like walls and stuff being built. Yeah, basically, Feral. This is the only purpose of the walls.
That looks great.
It's just it's a denomination of where the school starts and ends, you know?
Yeah,
If somebody who was dangerous wanted to, they'd just mantle the wall.
This is the first.
actually,
This is
What
what
I
it
could
looked
do-
like before, and this is what it looked like after.
is make that one section.
Wow.
Trying to
Is that
count.
optimized? Aha,
That's beautiful.
that's cheating.
Okay.
That doesn't look too bad.
I think the best idea with schools is like no walls. No walls or symbolic walls like we have.
I knew that I was going
Now,
But then
this is
again,
the
like,
mirror
our
image
population
of
isn't
the
like afraid every day of somebody wandering onto school and stabbing kids or shooting kids, you know? That just does not happen here. When it does happen, we, like, mourn as a country.
constructor.
Just see the Christchurch incident, right? That was unprecedented in New Zealand. Completely unprecedented.
I'm gonna need some splitters over here. I'm a little concerned for the efficiency of this.
You know what? I
But
don't think
that's
it looks
largely
more
just because of
friendlier. This looks like.
I mean, that doesn't mean we're not going to lock our doors at, you know, when we leave the house or whatever, but
I'm putting out the fire.
it does mean that we
Add fire.
don't spend every day of every hour afraid.
Is it from a certain type of rock?
So Colin's putting out the fires and he's terraforming the place.
Oh, that's
Our gun laws are very, very simple. You can own a pistol, but you have to do a bunch of, like, license stuff to get one, which includes rudimentary training. The pistol must be held off-site.
go there.
You can't keep it in your house. You have to keep it at a gun range, the one that you would be participating in.
Just need a
The only people who can keep guns on their property are farmers.
The symbols are over here.
And even then, what guns they can be are restricted to, like, you know, game rifles.
Ollie said that.
Whoa! Did you do that on purpose?
Ollie, you said that lava was. Fun.
Lava was fun.
You can get more exotic weapons, but you have to be very rich and do a whole bunch of license stuff and, like, pretty please promise the government you're not gonna use it, basically.
No, you made me die!
Shh, 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 shh. Please don't yell, kids. Blom, she's parkouring again.
I am parkouring.
If you're not parkouring, I mean, are you even doing a starter base properly?
I mean, I have to test it, right?
Absolutely. Like, I always try to build space around the machines. Like, this extra space over here is just simply so that we've got running space. Well, actually, more specifically. For the
Yeah,
fact
but my
that-
god, that's the thing that I see that argument all the time. But you cannot actually have that argument if you're not willing to try it in the first place. Until you actually try the law, there's no way you know that that is going to be the case.
That's my.
Just do in Australia and do a gun buyback program. It worked for them. And they had hardened criminals with weapons. Let me remind you of Kelly. I can't remember his other name.
Okay, now we just need to line this symbol up with this one. I don't suppose
But
you
even the
want to run some
criminals
power
just
for us, you're all right for this?
silently sold Ned Kelly, that's the one. The criminals silently sold their guns because they saw a far more profit in,
Wait, did I?
in engaging with the gun buyback program than trying to sell the guns illegally. Because obviously,
This lava, it's going
selling
down.
something legally is a lot more safe than selling things illegally. That's why prohibition doesn't work.
So you dropped all your stuff in the lava, huh?
No.
Criminals down the street that you can buy weapons off aren't hoarding guns for some sort of revolution. They're just trying to sell them.
That's a big feeling thing right there.
Can't you just turn into creative and get some more? No, I'm not playing creative at all. Well, that's what I can do. Or you could just
Look
go.
at this difference.
Oh, that's Mammothite. It's sculpture Mammothite.
Did I just drop that down and bring it around?
But you're not even doing prevention of acquisition though. Like, you don't really even have basic licensing stuff. Well, stuff that here in New Zealand we consider basic licensing stuff, which is that you have to go and actually do some lessons with a club and be registered to that club, and you know, like, that's really simple stuff, because then people are keeping you accountable for the weapon that you own.
It's made out of
That's over too far.
Oh, really? How did you get that?
Apparently in America all you need to get a gun is show that you're sane, and even then it's really limited.
Because he's got no people. He's got no people
Alright.
join.
It says nothing of the colloquial term fake it until you make it.
I got no mobs on it though. Good. So then you
Which describes like 80% of white America, and they're all faking it until they make it. So
near the Mars, you can terraform the Mars. Let's just say that you're at Mars. Let's just say you're at Mars. No.
yeah, Viper, I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason to walk around with a gun in a first world country. America is no different.
You want to eat some? No. Oh yeah, I realized.
Oh, come on, my god, that's disingenuous. It still absolutely is a first world country, regardless of who's in control.
How come you jumping all the time?
Mom, guess how I'm playing on the laptop? I'm jumping a lot because it's quicker.
Exactly, Samuel. Like,
No, no, but you get with your hungry belly, you know? Oh, it's hungry.
When I get that strong ally,
You need 100 screws per minute. Wow, okay. This actually needs double the screw production, but I think probably we should look at an alternate recipe for that, maybe.
it's the very thing about these mass murders recently in your country, is they've all been white people who have snapped. And it's not that
Anyway.
they've snapped, they snapped long ago. It's just that they found their excuse to act on it.
Good news is that we now have enough
Yay!
reinforced iron plates for the milestone.
And rotors are up.
Rotors are up and running. We're just waiting on them now.
there we go. No more lava.
Thank you for the follow, Kid Blister. It will take some time though.
Yeah, I was gonna
No, it
look at
doesn't.
handcrafting a few, seeing as like there's only 14 minutes to the end of the stream. And
Yeah.
thinking it might be nice to end on
Breaks your
On the
foot
thing.
and burns you. Fun.
probably look
A
at.
funny thing about that is the rules have recently changed. In light of the Christchurch shooting, where they've loosened up a little bit.
Copper
I
sheet
can't
scissor.
quite remember what the loosened restrictions are. There is still quite some
There's forward
restrictions
plan
though.
Right there.
In terms of the police, what it used to be was that a sergeant could carry a firearm,
Oh, do we have cables being made for
and
us?
even then, no, we don't have cables being made. But even then, like, the sergeant had to keep the rifle in the back of their cruiser. And then you're going to be like, well, what if an armed robbery happens? Well,
Oh, I'm a bit quiet
That's
in the
not
voice.
handled
I
by
was
the
a bit worried
police.
About that. My brother was complaining about it as well. Maybe if I turn up the
That's
gain,
handled
maybe?
by the Armed Defense Force.
Is that better?
Who only get called out if it's a situation of, you know, where they need
Just turn it all the
weapons.
way down. I think, oh, hang on. Probably. No. Maybe that.
You could hear Superfan then.
Superfan.
Mm,
Can you now?
sort of.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to mess with the settings as soon as after the stream.
We're having a very intense discussion here on the stream.
Oh, I can see. I can see. Here in Australia, our police generally have tasers.
Yeah, yeah. I was just explaining that in New Zealand, only the sergeants are allowed to have a weapon, and it must be kept in the back of the cruiser. But if there's anything that requires firearms, then you contact the Armed Defense Force.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the police contact their police. Hello, police.
All the cable. Yeah, so I moved my microphone kind of up there. So it's a bit further away. And yeah, my brother's been constantly complaining that I've been quieter. But it's not right in my screens anymore, so that's really nice.
Yeah, well, you're nice and clear now.
That's good. Yeah, I think I probably need to... I'm pretty sure I know that that fan is probably my GPU.
I actually don't know that it was the volume so much as the clarity of your voice, and it's a lot clearer now.
Oh, okay. I just messed with the gain on the back of the mic, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I need to... We are creating 40 rotors, probably 30 by the time that I'm done with this.
We have 6 in the assemblers.
Probably don't even need... Probably won't even need 30 then, that's nice. But yeah, so I got a an NVIDIA 2080 Ti, and the fans don't stop on it. Like, it is just a rocket the whole time, so I'm a bit worried about the power consumption of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would have thought that for a graphics card as powerful as that, it would actually spend the vast majority of its time idle.
I mean, that's how mine works. And it's not even current tech.
That's a good question, Markod. Why are you not following me? Thank you for the follow. Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
I actually was reading something not long ago about the GPUs, like current gen GPUs, not getting the message that they should be idling.
Oh, okay.
So it might be worth looking into, because I know there was a fix. It's just this is very, like, 6 weeks ago and wasn't relevant to me, so...
Yeah, no. Sounds like a good thing. How are those rotors coming along?
I just fell down when I went to go look, so...
Oh.
Hang on.
cursed.
First. Very. Hang on. Nearly there. Ah, gonna make it. We have 12.
Oh, that was more than I thought. Okay.
Oh, like 12 total.
Yeah, yeah. I was making 25. That would put us up to 35. So yeah, we just need another 3 from those assembles.
Well, there's another 2. And then I'll drop these 15 off.
Yeah, you reckon it could be my Mobo? Maybe. That's the thing I don't want to screw with.
I mean, does the 2080 come with its own monitoring software?
Yeah, it does, but even when I sort of screw with the fan settings, it doesn't seem to actually kick in. The other thing that I've noticed is that the lights on it don't light up.
Oh.
Like, it's supposed to be like fully RGB, which to be honest I don't care about, so I didn't really. So I wasn't really that fussed about. But at the same time, I was like, I feel like something's not quite working right.
It does sound like it's not getting the message. I'm gonna push the big red button, Blom.
Oh, yes, do it.
Coal power for next time.
Yep, that is a great milestone to get just before.
Alternative power source to biomass and can be fully automated if provided water with the new pipeline buildings and power throughout the initial setup. Coal has been added to the resource scanner. Note: ensure the close proximity of water to the coal production line. Note: pumps will aid in vertical transport of fluids through pipes. Note: throughput and volume indicators are added to each pipe section automatically.
Oh, so I wonder what we should work on next time. How did you want to get
coal.
How did you want to get the coal around? I mean, we have a normal.
We have one really close by, so I don't think we really need to worry about. Come on, brain.
Yeah, that's true.
Have to worry about trucks, but I mean, I could start setting up a truck station at the big coal vein over in the end of the desert. Because I do actually find trucks reliable.
Yeah, well, I mean, I find trucks to be reliable when I actually give them a foundation to run on with walls.
Stay in this gutter, you truck jerk.
That's my way of doing it. Okay, so if we go for basic steel next, which sucks because it needs.
Thank you,
modular
Taryn.
frames, but we mostly have the stuff.
I think we're gonna wrap up now anyway, because we've just got that
So,
last bit.
we definitely need to increase our output for rods quite substantially.
That's a good task. Well, good thing I've been saving up some copper sheet, huh? Lots of pipes. Whoops, I said that without the push to talk held down. Good thing I've been saving up copper sheets.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so that'll get us water. I've got to bump up the iron rods quite a lot so that we can make modular frames.
Mm-hmm.
And then... So I reckon we'll go for steel production next and make our way over for Mark II miners.
Yes,
'Cause I think
definitely.
Once we get Mark II miners, then we can start properly planning things out.
Oh yeah,
And
we can
logistics tier
ramp
3.
up like crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all.
But I think we should just end the stream a couple of minutes early here.
I think this is about as good a time as any.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is well done. Not a lot of time in the factory car, but that's okay. Save that for Alan.
Yeah. Alright, guys. I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming to Friendly Fire, as usual. Just remember that Friendly Fire will probably be on about 12 hours earlier than usual next week because of daylight savings changing for me and Atomic Glom. So it's going to start being on a Friday night rather than a Saturday morning. But I will make sure that that goes out in tweet, and I'll get the others to tweet it out as well. So let's find someone to send you all off to see,
who's
though.
streaming right now?
Who?
Valen.
Oh, well, what's he streaming? Valen.
Yeah, he's doing 7 Days to Die. Which is not my normal fare, but
We may as well support the crew.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Okay, well, see you later, guys, and enjoy Valen's stream.
Indeed, indeed.